Hello again. Welcome back. I am, of course, Nicodemus Kane. Today is June the 17th of 2022. And I'm here. That's all I can say. I'm here. I exist. Feeling a little down today. I'm going to try to get better. Try to see how the day goes. Hopefully, I feel a little run down today. I feel a little. We all have days like this where we just wake up. I'm going to get better today. Today's going to be better. Just for right now, I just feel a little low, a little down. So we're going to read through Isaiah chapter 4, and we're going to let the Word of God lift us up. Definitely lift us up. I've already read through it once today because I needed something, and it is definitely an uplifting chapter. No paragraph breaks, and it's all of 6 verses, so this is going to go kind of quick, which is okay by me because I have actually been sitting here for the past 30 minutes, just kind of meditating, just kind of thinking about life, about stuff, about things that I have to do. So it was, sometimes you just need to stop. You need to stop and just think about what is going on in your life. Not so much what is going on in the world. Just what is going on in your life? What are the things that you have to do, the things that you have to accomplish, the things that you have to focus on more than anything else? We don't get the time to really stop and think about these things because we're just constantly going. It's constantly moving. And I think yesterday that was part of my biggest problem. And that's probably why I'm so worn out today, is that it was just constantly moving. Yesterday just seemed like it was one thing after another, after another, after another for me. And I never really got a chance to stop and breathe. So I'm hoping this weekend I will get that chance. That I can just stop and breathe and be able to focus myself more. I think we all need that. I think we all need the ability to be able to stop and focus ourselves. Because they string us out so much. It's not just the world. It's just everything. Just everything. I don't know what to say other than that. But we're going to read through this. I don't think there's going to be too much that I'm going to have to stop and talk about. We're going to let the word speak for itself. And yeah, let's just let the word speak for itself. And then we'll go from there, okay? So Isaiah chapter 4. And this is talking about the end days. This is still talking about, this is after God will come back and he will take everything away from the people, from Jerusalem. We were talking about in the last one where he will take away all the things from the daughters of Zion. He will take away all the things. He will make all the mighty men fall. He will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people, all the princes that failed us. He will cause baldness and scabs to fall on the heads of the women. Um, it will just be pure anarchy, pretty much. But God will take everything away. But this is where he gives some back. So, at the top, I'm starting at the top. And then that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. That is women saying, You don't have to give us anything. Let us be called by your name so that we can be saved. Because there is still, at this time in the Bible, a namesake of salvation happening. When it comes to the tribes of Israel, if you were, one of the descendants of any of those tribes of Israel, you were saved. You have a I don't want to say an automatic salvation, but you're considered part of that bloodline of God. 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread. You don't have to feed us. You don't have to clothe us. You don't have to give us anything. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. We will give up everything just to bear your name so that we can be saved. Took me a second to figure out what that meant. It really did. I really had to sit and kind of think about that for a second. I finally got it. Somebody's going to say I'm wrong, and somebody's going to say, that's not what that means. Okay, well, if you think it's what that doesn't mean, then that's your opinion. To me, that's what that means. It's that they will be fighting to find their salvation because they know that everything is falling apart and they're trying to find a way to save themselves. Verse 2. In that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. God shall come down and clean everyone that's left. Now, in Revelations, I think it's in Revelations, it says that in the end, those that make it through the tribulation, those that make it through the destruction and death and pain and everything, those that make it to the other end of that shall be washed clean and shall be saved, shall have their salvation because they managed to make it through. They didn't fall to the wayside. They didn't betray their beliefs and go to the other side, I guess is the best way to say it, in order to save themselves. They kept firm with God, and they suffered through it, and they made it through. And they were saved automatically. They were plucked up, if you were. This is saying the exact same thing. He that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem, when the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment. Whoever's left shall be saved. Automatically. You just have to find your way through it. I thought for a long time that that's all it is. Yeah. That's all I have to worry about is just making it through. And I kept thinking, just keep your head down, find a way through it, and we'll make it. But I'm finding that there's a lot more to it than just, making your way through it. You have to understand that it's not just about surviving every physical attack upon you. It's about being spiritually centered in God, in Christ, so that you can be able to survive the spiritual battle that's coming. That's why it's called a full armor of God, because you are in a spiritual war. But those that make it through will be saved, will be called holy. Verse 5. And the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion. Will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion, and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. And there shall be a tabernacle for shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a covert from storm and from rain. A covert is basically just a shelter. The Lord will create a place upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion, a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of fire by night. Cloud and the smoke was not just something to follow. It was something that covered the nation of Israel whenever they fled Egypt. It was something that covered them so that nobody could see them while they were going through the wilderness. It covered them, surrounded them, kept them protected so that their enemies could not see them. They could not know. It was like, oh, there's just a big fog bank over there. Okay, whatever. And at night they were a fire so that they could have light, so they could follow. More than likely, what happened is they may have traveled by night. There's not too many reasons for you to have a fire in the desert at night unless you're traveling. And if you're lost in the desert, you don't travel during the daytime. It's too hot, and you're just going to burn yourself out. You sleep during the day. You travel by night. I mean, maybe there's something to that. I don't know. Maybe there's something to the clouds being there so that they could sleep. I don't know. But it's a possibility. These things line up. Again, I am a wealth of useless information. And when something like that, something that I learned whenever I was 10 manages to line up with something that I'm learning when I'm 45, you kind of got to put it together and ask yourself, well, maybe there's something to it. Maybe there is. I'm not going to say it is. I'm not going to say that's what happened. But it kind of makes sense, You would have a protective cloud around you so that you could sleep during the day, so that you could get rest, so that you could sleep. And you have a fire that you can follow at night because you don't want to be moving around the wilderness, a desert, in the middle of the heat, in the middle of the day. You want to move at night. And you want to conserve your energy for moving around at night whenever it's cool. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's a good lesson to learn, though. Don't if you're ever lost in the desert, don't travel by day. Travel by night. Sleep during the day. Rest. Just it's a whole GI Joe reference. Knowing is half the battle. And there shall be a tabernacle by the for a shadow in the daytime from the heat. You shall have a place where you can keep cool, and a place of refuge, and for a covert from storm and from rain. The Lord will set up a place for you to be protected. Not just in the end times when things are starting to go bad. But all the time. He will protect you and give you comfort and a place to go so that you are not hurt and destroyed by the things of this world that are trying to kill you. He will provide that for you. Again, if you will listen to him. Things in the world are getting worse. We talk about this. The evil people, the evil ones, the evil demons of this world are constantly pushing, finding new ways to take away every freedom that you have, because that's the end goal, is slavery, absolute slavery. A lot of people will say, oh, they just want to kill us all, they just want to hurt us all and destroy us. No, they want to have complete control. Having complete control over you is death, is absolutely death. They are fighting a spiritual battle. Well, we talked about this. They are fighting a spiritual battle where they are trying to take away God's love, God's protection of you, so that they can take your soul, take your life, take your soul, take everything away from you. And in order to do that, they have to take away everything. That's why they constantly say, you will own nothing and you will be happy. That you won't even be able to own your own body. You won't have your own bodily autonomy. You won't control what goes into your body. You won't control what you own. You won't have anything. There will be nothing that you will have. And so we're already to the point now to where the Bible makes a lot of references to inheritance, the things that we get to pass down to the next, to our next generations. And it's already to that point to where people just don't have stuff to pass down. There's nothing that you can really give your kids anymore. It used to be that, it passed down from father to son, and people were able to have the family house. They were able to have all of these things that, they can call theirs. But so much anymore, it's people rent what they have because we've allowed greedy corporations to come in and buy up every house everywhere for some little tiny some little tiny apartment or, duplex, if you're that lucky, so that you can say that you have somewhere to live. And I understand now, because we just bought a house. I understand how, I don't want to say freeing. It is freeing. It feels good to know that I own this place. It feels good to know that anything I want to do, I can go do it. If I don't like the way that a tree looks in the yard, I'm going to cut that thing down. You get a lot more responsibilities, but you tend to take care of it more. You want it to be better. Before, when it was just a rental, I just didn't give a crap. You don't care about it. It's like it's somebody else's stuff. I was part of that. I mean, we did the bare minimum amount because, the renters that we rented from, they didn't care about us. We kept telling them, oh, we have a problem with this, we have a problem with that, and they're like, yeah, we'll send somebody out next Tuesday. 3 months later. But since we've been in here, a lot of all I've done is care about what happens to the house, because this is my house. This is my place. I have a place now. I may not own it, and I'll never own it. You never actually own anything anymore. If you have to pay taxes, property taxes to the government, you don't own your house. I mean, you might own the actual physical structure, but you're still having to pay for the land. That means you don't own it. You don't own anything. To own something means that you're free of anybody else. You don't own anything. They've screwed us all over. Absolutely. If you own nothing, then you have nothing of this world to be able to call your own. We were promised that we'd be able to have things that were our own, where we could build a life, build a family, create food, have cattle, have all this stuff in order to be able to make it. We were promised that by God. But they've found a way, the evil creatures of this world have found a way to take all that away from us. And there are so many people that are not ever going to know that responsibility. They're not going to ever know the feeling of joy that it brings you to be able to go out on the back porch of your own house and look around and say, this is mine. I got this. I did that over there, I cut that back the way I like it. I hung this certain thing up. It doesn't even matter what it is. I fixed this door or whatever. Just stupid little things. But it's like, I did that. I made this better. That was me, by my own hand, by my own sweat. It wasn't because somebody else told me to do it. It was mine. And you get a sense of accomplishment. But they are doing everything in their power to take everything away from you. And that's what it's always been about. It's always been about their control over you, so that they can possess your soul. Because there's no other end game. People can say, oh, why would they want to enslave you? Why would they want to do this? They have all the money in the world. They have all the things. Because there's a reason to the end of it. It's like people asking, why would they make it such a long game? I mean, they could very easily take over and be done with it. They could have done it years and years ago. But they're enjoying taking away your life. They're enjoying doing it slowly. They're enjoying setting everything up for something in the future. They're one of the ways that I knew how that this is definitely setting this world up for some kind of entity, some kind of demonic force down the line, is the long game. Again, they're not trying to accomplish this stuff within their lifetimes. These people are they're. It's amazing how the rich politicians and assholes get to live to be 90, 100 years old, yet my grandfather only makes it to about 76. But 100 years for them, that's a pretty hefty lifetime. But they're not creating things for their lifetime. They're creating things not even for their children's lifetime. If you look at it, they've been doing this for about 200 years now. That's not just their lifetime, their children. That's their grandchildren's, their great-grandchildren. So they're not just doing this for their bloodlines. They're doing this for some entity, something let's just say whatever it is, that is able to survive for hundreds of years, thousands of years. They've been doing it for thousands of years. And that's how I knew that the devil is real. Because only he could be able to live that long in order to want these things, in order to want this kind of evil in the world. God doesn't want this kind of evil in the world. If it was up to God, God would, very easily change all this. But he can't, because he gives us the option. Satan's not going to give you the option. Satan wants you to worship him any way, shape, or form possible, and he will force you to do it if he has to. And he will. He absolutely will. God's not going to force you to do it. We've talked about this one whenever it comes to free will, and I've had conversations about this with other people too. They don't seem to grasp the concept of free will. God's not going to force you to do it because he does not want to be that kind of God. He loves you so much. He wants you to come back to the truth. He wants you to understand that while they are tricking and manipulating you and forcing you to do one thing, he just wants you to come back on your own terms. He wants you to understand that it's better on his side. Just to not fall for it. But people are too busy being tricked and deceived to enjoying their unrighteousness that they can't see it and they won't see it. They will not turn to God because they revel in their unrighteousness. They don't just love it. They don't just, they're not just they're reveling in it. They're celebrating it. What was the line from, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday or the day before? Let me see. The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. They declare it. There was another one that was almost exactly the same before that, and I'm looking. They enjoy it. Where was it at? I'm not seeing it. They are reveling in it, though. They are having so much fun being proud of their evil. They take pride in their evil. And that's why they will never turn to the truth. That's why God sends them strong delusion, because they enjoy living in their unrighteousness so much to the point they will refuse to see any truth whatsoever. You can tell them all day long, this is going to kill you, this is going to destroy you, this is going to take you down to the bottoms of the pits. And there is nothing you're going to be able to do, but they don't care. They're gonna ride that evil all the way. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. That's, can't tell me what to do. This is my life. Okay, man, whatever. I tried. God's not going to force you to do it. So many people think that too. So many people will think that, oh, God, forces you to do this, forces you to do that. No. If God was forcing you to do anything, you wouldn't be standing here right now. You wouldn't be standing here out in the middle of the open with your, booty shorts and your, crazy fishnet t-shirt showing everything to the world. If God was forcing you to do it, you wouldn't be here right now. You'd be locked up just like everybody else. But you're not. God gives you the option. What happened is you were tricked by an evil entity into thinking what you're doing is the right thing to do, and that you're going to be just fine because of it. There is a God right now, the creator of everything in this world, the Most High, Heavenly Father, Yahuwah. He says, one day, I'm going to wipe it all out. Until then, I just want you to be good. But you chose not to because you were tricked into thinking that it doesn't matter. You were tricked into thinking that everything's just going to be A-okay and you can commit any sin and any misery in the world. And it's not a punishment. It's not a punishment. You're not being forced to do it. It's not some strict, crazy rule book that you have to follow. It's just be good. Be better. Be better. That's all it is. I grew up thinking that. I grew up thinking that just like everybody else. Oh, it's so strict. Look how strict these people are. They have to dress a certain way and listen to certain music and do all this stuff. I never understood. I was tricked just like everybody else. I thought, it's so, you're being forced and manipulated to do all this stuff. You're not being forced and manipulated to do anything. You're told, just like you're told by your parents, just like you're told by your father, I'm going to let you have your freedom. But when it comes time to call, you need to know that if you do wrong, you're going to get punished. Because that's what fathers want. I've been a father. I'd never had any biological children myself, but I have been a father. I am now a grandfather. You want your kids to have the freedom, to have the choice to be able to run and play and do all the stuff. At the same time, you want to tell them, look, this is going to hurt you. If you do this, it's going to hurt you. If you do this, it's going to be like this. If you do that, you're going to be like that. All right? If you act cool, then everything will be okay. But if you act like an idiot, you're going to get hurt. You're going to suffer. And sure enough, they don't want to listen. They want to act like idiots. So you have to bring that punishment down. I've been there. I've done that. That's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing with God. He wants you to be better, and He'll let you be better. He'll bring home the toy from the store if you're good. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm sorry. It's a good analogy though. It's a really good analogy. Is he promises you whenever he goes out to the store that he'll get you a toy, but you have to be good. And he does. He rewards you. He gives you good things. He said it straight out. He made the covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. He said, do good, listen to me. Because I am your creator. I'm the one that made you. I'm the one that made all of this for you. I will protect you. I will love you. I will comfort you. I will do everything in my power to make sure that you have everything you will ever need. All I ask you to do is just listen. Just obey. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to obey the creator of everything. But you're getting tricked by that. You're getting tricked by that stupid teenager down the street to go off and do all the bad things that your father doesn't want you to do. Sneaking out in the middle of the night, going partying, and, driving around drinking, being stupid, sleeping with loose women. Your father told you better. Don't do that stuff, man. It's going to get you in trouble. But you're doing it anyways. So your father says, well, sooner or later, I'm going to die. And if you're not around when it happens and you don't care, then I can't pass any of my inheritance onto you. And you're going to have nothing. And you're going to die miserable and alone. Because you chose to follow the stupid teenager down the street. And that's what's going to happen. That is the best analogy I have for the Bible as a whole. It's an analogy. And people are going to say, oh, you can't make that kind of... No, it's if I remember right, Christ used allegories and analogies all the time. It's the best one I got. He doesn't want you to suffer. He just wants you to live. He wants you to live your life and be happy. But he knows that there are just certain things you don't do in this world because they're going to hurt you. They're going to lead to destruction and destroy you. And you may think you're getting all the fun that you can get out of it. It feels good. It's all for you. It's all vanity. It's all, But in the end, he knows there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it at all. He's got a better place waiting for you. He's got a far better place waiting for you, but you're choosing what's on this world. This sick, dying world. It's dying. It's absolutely dying. The Bible itself says something along the lines of everything withereth away or something, or everything falls away, or, that it all falls apart. It's all dying. Took me a while to realize that one too. It's exactly what the Bible's saying, is that this world is dying. It was dying since the day it was created. It was never meant to last. That's why God made the covenants and said, hey, I got a better world after this. All right? It's cool that you guys want to hang out here, but this place is falling apart. So we're gonna move somewhere better. We got somewhere better in mind. Be cool. Listen to what I say. Don't get yourself into trouble. We're gonna move to a better house. That's what it says. That's literally what it says. He has a kingdom. He has mansions in heaven that he's preparing for us. I got a better place. This place is dying. Everything in this world is going to fall apart. And it's dying. And that's the truth. And I don't have anything else. It's I'm getting uplifted, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I just wonder if anybody's listening anymore. And now the quote unquote Ministry of Truth is saying that they're going to start cracking down even more on us. Once they take away your free speech, Second Amendment ain't gonna matter. Yeah. Your First Amendment was there so that you could speak up and say whenever something is bad. Your Second Amendment was there to protect the first one. But once it gets to the point where you can't say anything, good or bad, you've lost. If you can't speak up for yourself, there's nothing left for you. But people are gladly willing to do it because they don't understand that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But whatever. Words don't hurt. Words don't mean a damn thing. They don't mean anything. Your intentions mean something, but your words don't mean anything. All right. Of course, you know, we would all be a little bit better if we actually followed the word of God, because you know he tells us to be better. But yeah, nobody listens to that part either. All right, I'm gonna get going. God bless every one of you. Take care of yourselves. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I really don't. I shall see you all on Monday then, I guess. Unless unless the baby wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning or something, and then I'll have to take care of her. But I don't know. All right, you guys take it easy.